Welcome back to Whispers in the Dark, where we explore the hidden, the terrifying, and the unknown. Imagine venturing deep into the wilderness, miles away from civilization, only to stumble upon something or someone completely unexpected. Lurking in the shadows, watching you, are what some claim to be feral people. These mysterious figures are said to inhabit remote forests and mountains far from the eyes of modern society. But who or what are they? Feral people are believed to be human beings who have reverted to a wild, primal state. They are often described as living in isolation, away from the trappings of modern life and surviving off the land in the most basic way possible. Reports of sightings have come from various regions, but none are as notorious as those from the Appalachian Mountains and other remote wilderness areas across North America. The Appalachian Mountains have long been a source of mystery and fear, with locals and hikers alike recounting eerie encounters with what they describe as feral people. These aren't just distant, fleeting glimpses. Some claim to have seen figures watching them from the tree line, their eyes glinting in the dark, following their every move. In other instances, campers have reported hearing strange noises at night, footsteps, whispers, even guttural growls. When they investigate, they find nothing but a deep, unsettling silence. And yet, the feeling of being watched never leaves. Some have even come across footprints, far too large and distorted to belong to any known animal, yet somehow not quite human. But what could these feral people really be? Theories abound, each one more unsettling than the last. Some suggest that they are simply people who, for one reason or another, have chosen to live off the grid, abandoning society to return to a more primitive existence. Over generations, these people have adapted to their harsh environments, becoming almost unrecognizable as human. This adaptation might involve changes in physical appearance, such as longer limbs, thicker hair, and a more hunched posture, making them appear more like wild creatures than humans. Others propose a more supernatural explanation. Could these be the spirits of those lost in the wilderness, unable to find peace? Or perhaps they are something darker, creatures that have never been human at all, but have learned to mimic our appearance just enough to blend in with the shadows. The idea of beings that can mimic humanity while retaining something fundamentally other about them is deeply unsettling, tapping into our primal fear of the unknown. One of the most chilling aspects of the feral people legends is the number of unexplained disappearances that seem to be linked to them. Take, for instance, the case of Dennis Martin, a 6-year-old boy who vanished in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park in 1969. Dennis was on a camping trip with his family when he disappeared without a trace. Despite one of the largest search efforts in the history of the park, no sign of him was ever found. Some believe that Dennis fell victim to the feral people who are said to inhabit the remote areas of the park. His father, desperate to find his son, even reported seeing a figure moving stealthily in the woods shortly after Dennis disappeared, a figure that didn't seem quite human. What really happened to Dennis Martin that day? Did he encounter something lurking in the shadows, something that has never been fully explained? Then there's the case of Stacey Ann Arras, a 14-year-old girl who disappeared in Yosemite National Park in 1981. Stacey was on a horseback riding trip with her family and friends when she decided to walk ahead to a nearby lake. She was last seen only a few yards from the trail, yet when the group reached the lake, she was nowhere to be found. Despite extensive searches, not a single trace of Stacey was ever discovered. Could she have fallen prey to something or someone hiding in the wilderness? Theories about her disappearance range from accidental death to abduction, but some believe that the feral people of the mountains took her, adding her to their ranks in the remote, uncharted areas of the park. Another unsettling story comes from the vast forests of Oregon, where experienced hiker and hunter Aaron Hedges disappeared in 2014. Aaron was on a hunting trip with friends when he went off course, supposedly to retrieve supplies he had cached earlier. Despite being an experienced outdoorsman, Aaron never returned. His disappearance sparked a massive search, but the only clues found were his boots, some scattered personal belongings, and a bizarre campsite miles from where he was last seen. Strangely, his remains were discovered 2 years later in an area that had already been thoroughly searched. The eerie circumstances surrounding Aaron's death have led some to speculate that he may have encountered something or someone that led him far off the trail. These encounters and disappearances often leave those involved with a lingering sense of fear and paranoia, as if they're being watched even long after they've left the woods. The psychological impact of these experiences can be profound, leading some to question their own sanity. The fear isn't just rooted in the possibility of encountering something unknown, but in the deeper, more primal terror of being hunted by something that is both human and inhuman. The idea that these beings could be watching, waiting, and learning from us only adds to the terror. Are these just tricks of the mind, or is something more sinister at work? So what do you think? Are these stories just modern-day myths fueled by fear and isolation, or is there something more to the tales of feral people? One thing is certain. These stories have captured the imagination of many, and the fear they evoke is all too real. The idea that there could be something lurking in the wilderness, something that defies our understanding of humanity, is a powerful one. It speaks to our deepest fears and our fascination with the unknown. Remember, if you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, check out our exclusive merchandise to keep those chills away on your next adventure. Picture this. You're enjoying a hot cup of coffee late at night, watching one of our chilling videos, and there in your hand is a mug with our Whispers in the Dark logo. Or perhaps you're bundled up in one of our cozy sweatshirts, perfect for keeping the chills away during those cold, eerie nights. Every purchase helps us continue to bring you the most spine-tingling stories because, after all, every whisper counts. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us continue to bring you the most spine-tingling stories. Until next time, keep listening, because every whisper counts.